Hello and welcome to our live stream. I'm Gerhard Elfers in Berlin. A shooting in a school in Thailand has shaken the nation. Authorities say a student opened fire at Depsirin Nonthaburi school just outside Bangkok, triggering panic on campus and a major police response. At least 6 people were killed and 15 students injured. That's according to the Deputy Interior Minister. The gunman has also been killed. Police says he shot and killed his grandparents at their home on Friday before opening fire at the school. The attack happened in Nonthaburi province, that's northwest of the Thai capital. Students were fleeing the school grounds as ambulances and emergency crews rushed to the scene. A witness told reporters that students hid inside a classroom while they heard gunshots from another building before police officers knocked on the door and escorted them to safety. Police identified the suspected gunman as a student at the school. Now, as authorities work to establish exactly what happened, the shooting is once again focusing attention on gun violence in Thailand, a country that has experienced a number of high-profile firearm attacks in recent years. Those include a school shooting in southern Thailand earlier this year and the 2022 nursery massacre that shocked the nation. Thailand has one of the highest rates of civilian gun ownership in the region, with around 10 million firearms estimated to be in circulation. That's 1 for every 7 people. Past promises of tightening gun laws have obviously not prevented repeated shootings. For now, investigators are trying to determine a motive and piece together how exactly this attack unfolded. We'll bring you the latest verified information and what this tragedy means for Thailand's ongoing debate over school safety and gun control. But first we go to Pravit Rojanaphruk. He's a journalist and staff writer and columnist at Khalsat Online News and joins us now from Bangkok. Pravit, just give us an update. What's the latest?
Well, we heard the Prime Minister saying that probably there is a need for a stricter gun control. That's one thing. Unfortunately, as we all know, the incidents occurred this morning while there was a class was going on. And what we know is that the father of the deceased young gunman, he's a minor, he's 14, that's as much as we know, is now being interrogated by the authorities, the police. That's as much as we know, but the country is in shock. And although you rightly say that Thailand may have one of the most number of guns in the regions, I think it might be ironic to say, but I think most Thais do not identify the level of gun violence in Thailand and to that of the United States, for example. But I think, and I hope probably this incident, the tragic incidents will cajole the whole country to examine ourselves deeper and see what can be done about such violence which recurs within, probably a few months at a time.
Pravit, we're going to address the issue of gun violence and gun ownership in Thailand in a moment. But first of all, let's have a look at the school where this happened. What kind of school are we talking about there?
It's a solid middle-class school. Actually, the school is what we call a chapter of a very famous school. So technically, Thepsarin is a very famous school, but this is like a campus which is established outside Bangkok. The original Thepsarin or Depsarin school is located in Bangkok, and this school is, one of the so-called chapter or branches of the famous school. So students are normally a solid middle-class students from the province and maybe even from Bangkok. So this is a fairly well-known school. Indeed.
Now, just bring us up to date. School shootings have happened in the past, and since this is a high-profile school, if you will, do schools like that have security these days?
They do, but as I have told you earlier, Gerhard, we do not. We do not regard Thailand as a society at which is always at risk of gun violence. So presumably, and there is no other indication that the security guard of the school would check the bags of any students. Normally that's not being done. It's not like the United States. As I said, there's no metal detector uh, that will be installed prior to entering a school. This is what we think when we when we look at the United States. But no, generally, I will still insist that the country is safe. But again, perhaps we will have to close the loopholes, which has to do with gun controls, which has to do with the stress and mental states of students, whether that is a major factor that led to this tragic incident this morning.
I mean, the sheer number of guns in Thailand, 10 million in circulation, might turn out to be a contributing factor to this shooting, as the shooter apparently was only 14 years old. And there are reports that he sort of took that gun from his grandfather. Still waiting for confirmation on that, of course. But let's look at the wider picture there in Thai society. One gun for every seventh Thai. Why are people in Thailand so keen on guns?
I do not have a gun, and I think most people whom I know do not own a gun. I believe that one of the reasons is that there is what I think best described in English is recreational guns. The shooting range where people would exercise, quote unquote. But again, anyone who is familiar with Thailand would know that it's not a common sight at all. And unlike in some countries, and I know for a fact, such as in the Philippines, it will be common to see a sign saying or indicating that one should not bring a firearms into the establishment, be it a bar or whatever. But those signs are not common in Thailand, and you don't see. I don't recall having seen anyone who is not a police officers or military personnel carrying gun for the past many years. I have no memory of that. So this is not like the United States. But again, that's a very interesting fact. The stat that 10 million guns are owned by a country with a population of just south of 70 millions. What I know is that normally for a normal guns license, you need to renew it every year, but there is also what we call a lifetime license. So probably we will have to look into the lifetime license as well as the annual gun license. But again, you would be surprised if you come to Thailand. You will not see guns normally. This is not a norm.
Okay.
Unlike in the United States, where it's quite common to see civilians carrying guns with the permits, of course, but not in Thailand. So this will be a big questions or riddle that we will have to look into. And I think, unlike in the United States, again, I think our society, the Thai society, will probably support a greater restrictions of guns ownership. There is no large base of Thai people who will insist that they should have the rights to carry firearms. That's not the case in Thailand.
Now we're currently seeing live images as we are speaking to you, Pravit, of that what I assume to be that school where the shooting has happened.
Right.
But I'd like to come back to what you've just touched upon. We've heard there have been lots of school shootings and firearms incidents in Thailand in the last couple of years, and the government apparently has repeatedly promised to tighten these gun laws that you have talked about, have they delivered in a way that could actually make a difference? Has the government delivered?
We are not aware of that. I will wait and see what the government will say, but I don't think there has been any major restrictions of guns. But again, I like to add that the other end of the equations is the mental state of the Thai people, particularly young Thais. Just like most of the East Asian countries, young Thais are under a lot of stress. At this stage, I cannot confirm, but some unconfirmed reports claims that the boy, the 14 years old gunman, may have an issue with some of the teachers. And please, we might want to note that the majority, besides the two grandparents allegedly killed by the gunman, five of the seven, at least 4 or 5 of the 7 deaths, as far as we know now, the school teacher. So would that point to a possible issue or problems between the gunman, who is a student there, and his teachers? We do not know at this moment, but it's a commonly accepted fact that young Thais are under stress, under academic. There's huge academic expectations, but at the same time, there's also or rightly or wrongly, a sort of cliche belief amongst older Thais, the older generations, that the younger generations are quite different. So we do not know whether the boy, the young shooters, had some mental problem or issues with the teachers. We will also have to look at the faculties or the teachers, the school administrators and the teachers. And unfortunately, most Thai schools, being a teacher, unless it's a top schools, their pay are not that good compared to countries in Western Europe or developed countries. And the workload is high. So we do not know at this stage, but this will be one of the angle that will be explored in the hours and days ahead.
Pravit, you hinted on this, that the stress on students and the expectations have been quite high, or are quite high in schools like that. In general, do you think expectations for students, the pressure on students in society to deliver, to come back with good grades, do you think that pressure is higher than in other nations, or too high maybe?
Well, whether it's higher than other nations or not, we do not know. But Thailand's educational system is one of the more competitive, even within Southeast Asia. That I can say with some level of certainty. But how the society deals with that is a big issue that has not really been overcome by the society. And as I said, this is definitely one of the issues that we will look into. The students unnecessarily feel too stressed with their overwhelming pressure, or was it the teachers who did not conduct themselves properly in dealing with the students? At this stage, we do not know, and or whether the students have actually reached the point where he had mental problems and not being, but not receiving proper psychological or psychiatric attention. We do not know yet, but well, normally, I mean, no one who is normal would allegedly shoot their own grandparents. So I think that speaks a volume about the probable abnormality of the incident, and the fact that his students, probably the guard, and no one had expected that the shooter will be one of the students themselves.
the journalist Pravit Rojanaphruk reporting from Bangkok. Pravit, I think we have to leave it here for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerhard. Dankeschön.
And before we go, a quick update. At least 6 people were killed on Friday when a student opened fire at a school in Thailand before turning the gun on himself. Authorities say a student opened fire at the Dipsirin Nonthaburi school just outside Bangkok, triggering panic on campus and a major police response. The gunman has killed himself. Police says he shot and killed his grandparents as well at their home on Friday before opening fire at the school. And we will have further updates on this channel as this story develops. For now, this concludes our live coverage. Thanks for joining us and stay tuned.